Hello everyone. Today, during the Quarantine New Dance and Dance Innovation series, we have an amazing Polish conductor, but also violinist. We talk about this, Duczmal Mróz. The very wonderful, from the wonderful family of the musicians. Her mother made this great orchestra Amadeus that she's also conducting now in Poznań. And her sister is also a wonderful cellist. Some of you who attended the concert Carnegie Hall remember that Karolina played also the music of Krzysztof Penderecki at the Carnegie Hall concert and also the Franck Sonata. And but Anna is a conductor, and she, after graduating from the violin class in Hanover, in Germany, she switched because she had a talent. She was discovered as a talent for conducting. And she's called as a flawless conductor with the wonderful technique. And now she's a second conductor of this Amadeus Orchestra. She's doing a lot of recordings, a lot of also concerts, touring with the orchestra all around the world, in South America and Europe, and also conducting some master classes. We have a pleasure that today she will share with us her opinions about the last year difficult time for the orchestra, for the conductors. And, she will also say about her plans, about the orchestra and her conducting life during this time. So first of all, Anna, thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for taking this invitation. Nice to meet you. Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to meet you, and that I will have the possibility to talk with your society where you're living.
Thank you very much, Anna. Anna, maybe I would just directly go to the first question that I would like to ask you. If you can tell us briefly about your last year as a conductor and Amadeus Orchestra in Poland with the current situation of the COVID-19. So if you can tell us a little bit about that, about the concert life.
Yes, of course, last year was a very challenging year, I think, like for everyone. I have lost something about 50 concerts. So, you know, the whole life just stopped, and we had to start actually a new life, you know, living completely different. And we had to find ourselves in this situation because I personally think that we cannot stop working. The idea that I had and we had in Amadeus Chamber Orchestra was that first thing which we cannot do is to stop working. No matter what happens, we have to meet together and, you know, practice, work on new pieces. We need to focus of finding new possibilities in this reality that we have right now. So for the first 2 weeks of lockdown in Poland, last year, we did not work, and this was the only 2 weeks for the last year that we did not work.
Only 2 weeks.
From the first moment that we had a green light from the government, you can meet like in Quartet. We decided, okay, so we start working. What can we do? We invented Amadeus Chamber Evenings, and the musicians from our orchestra were meeting in our rehearsal concert hall, and we were recording them when they play, you know, chamber music, and we were showing it to our audience every Sunday, because Sundays are always our concerts, usual concerts which we have in Poznań, for example. And each concert is a different chamber group made of our musicians. And after vacation time, we decided that we will start to work together. Of course, we could not have concerts, but we could record. So we have, switched the dates for our recordings, which we supposed to do in the whole year. And we decided that we'll make all the recordings in the first half of the year, so till December. And we were recording all the time, new music, Polish music. It's the compositions which we regularly record for Polish radio. We also supposed to go for many concerts outside Poland. So we talked with our contractors. And they said, oh, we would love to have music with you. You cannot come, but we can record you. And we can share this music with our country, in our country. So we have made online concerts for several different countries. That's how we worked for abroad, with abroad concerts. We also have invented that online concerts in Poland. So we were working very intensive, recording different programs, different solists and many. We have recorded many online concerts. Of course, it was a very hard time because we asked ourselves, is it safe for us to work together?
Exactly.
Yes, and our musicians said that, okay, we have a problem with virus. We all know that, but we want to work. And we don't agree to sit at home and not play the music. It was actually our musicians' decision that they will not go home. So when we're meeting for rehearsals, for the beginning, we of course made the distances so that we don't sit together to close like everyone does. But we are 21 people. And we are all very, very careful to not to get the virus, but we got it anyway.
Oh, wow.
Because I think it's not possible if you don't sit at home, you will get it someday. But of course, we didn't have any dramatic situation. A health situation, so it was quite safe. But what was amazing that we had this huge distances between us, and playing in that distance chamber music is something very unusual and very uncomfortable, and the sound is so different and disturbing that every rehearsal they were sitting near and near and near and near, closer and closer, exactly. And suddenly I just noticed, my God, they sit like they used to sit, very close. And they just don't agree for changing the way of their work.
But Anna, a question: you have mostly strings players for the Amadeus?
Only strings players. We don't have woodwinds. Yes, if we would have woodwinds, the situation would look completely different.
That's right. But you also don't have percussion. If I can ask, did you also have some percussion sections in your the pieces?
No, we don't. Well, we don't have. Sometimes when we have, the piece is challenging, we have to rent different instruments, different musicians. But usually we play only strings.
Only strings. Okay, I see. But also the thing is about. I have a question for you as a conductor. Did you have to discover new techniques of conducting this kind of setup? Because it's just different. Also, the pieces were not thought to be played in this way. So when the composer composed it was a different idea, right? So did you have your own method, different way of conducting this kind of spatial orchestra, right? When they were sitting really far away, or did you use the same? Nothing has changed. I'm just curious about that.
Well, I think the technique, the conductor's technique, comes from the music. And I don't see a point to change it. Of course, somehow when I was conducting opera a few months ago, and they were really sitting really far from each other, and the winds were so far that I had to scream so that they could hear me, and I barely could see them. so the hands has to be a little higher, and the moves must be a little bigger. So with big orchestra, it has to be a little bigger so that they can really, their eye can reach it. And when we have just string orchestra, nothing changes actually. I would rather say that acoustically it changes, and the sound between musicians is forming completely different. So this was the biggest challenge, I think, that we all need to face with. New building of sound of the orchestra in these distances.
And how do you feel recordings? Because you mentioned about the recordings last year, and recording in this kind of setup, it would be also sound different, because you can hear that the difference that the musicians are well separated. So how do you feel a distance? Do you feel a difference, or maybe with this kind of recordings? How did you like it?
Well, it is different. First of all, musicians feel very uncomfortable because they feel very very naked. They don't have the different sound near to them, so they have to create a different sound. And so also for on recordings, the very challenging thing was to find together sound, to find each other in a different acoustic situation. And how to the question is how to build the phrase if you cannot hear different instruments. So we were all fighting a little bit, for quite a long time to find it. But yes, actually, yes, but a human being can find himself in a very different situation. We just need some time to do it.
We need really time to adapt to the current situation, because it's different. There are many things what we haven't experienced before, but over the time you can find some ways, But Anna, I want to also ask you about the concerts, because did you have some concerts in person last year in Poznań with your orchestra in 2020, and how is now in 2021? So do you have audience?
We could not have audience for the whole year.
Entire year.
Only we had in January we had 2 weeks when we could have audience. And I was very happy and very lucky, because it was 2 weeks of my 3 concerts with Amadeus and also my opera concerts. So the concert hall was absolutely full.
Wow.
We could have 50% of audience of concert in concert hall, and all tickets were sold out.
Sold out.
Yes. Audience, yes, they really, people needs culture, people needs music, and even after a year or 2 or 3, I hope not, but after 2-3 years, if we cannot play for audience, they will come back, because they really miss it.
Of course.
They really miss it. They really need it. And I think that a world without music cannot exist, actually.
Yes, but Anna, also for the preparation for those concerts, you as a conductor, how did you find working during these current times? Do you think it's a different way of working when you prepare the score? I mean, mentally, you're preparing for those concerts. Do you feel disturbing? I'm asking this many artists, about their creation during this time. Many composers, many artists would say, I wouldn't compose that because I would write completely different piece during this time, but this really time changed me. So I was thinking a different way. How about you preparing the scores? Did you find it that it was a different way of working than before?
Well, it was completely different.
It was.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I have decided in my head that I will work like nothing would have happened, like we would not have a pandemic time.
Okay.
So I stand up every morning and I work like usually. I organize concerts the same way. I work on score the same way. The difference is only that I think more about how to adapt music in concert hall where we don't have audience, because the acoustically it's the orchestra sounds different, and also for us musicians from mental conditions, it is different. When we have, for example, when we have rehearsal recordings. We of course we're very stressed, and we have to be careful on every note, because the microphones gets everything. And now when we have concerts online, when we also have cameras all over us, we have to be very careful for every move we have. And then the feeling when we stopped playing, we have played everything, we recorded everything, and we have to now do this what we do to audience after a concert. So
wow.
Doing this, and you do it, and you don't see people there. It's a very weird feeling, and it's quite actually sad. Every time when I was going on stage and there were no audience, I was thinking this is the end of culture. So this was the sentences that I was going in my head all the time. And then suddenly when we could play concert for audience, and I went to the stage and I saw it's so many people, I told them, my dear audience, you have no idea how happy I am to see you. And I was shaking inside, like I would be on stage for the first time, and I'm doing it for 20 years. So it was quite emotional moment to meet again with our audience, to people who really enjoy the music and enjoys the time with us. So we again could play for someone, and not only to camera. So it's a very emotional moment.
But for this 20 years, for sure, it's very special and very different time for you. But Anna, when you started conducting, when did you decide actually that you want to be conductor? Because your mother was a conductor. I also want to ask about this. So
I was studying violin in Germany, and I was playing in orchestra. And AGO, Maestro AGO, have came to Hanover to work with our student orchestra. AGO he was a god for us, because he was first of all great conductor, and secondly he was assistant of Leonard Bernstein for many years. So a very important figure. And at the end of rehearsals, he have asked us who wants to conduct, because he's opening a conducting class in Hanover. And a friend of mine who knew that my mother is a conductor have raised my hand as a joke.
As a joke, you see? Oh, wow.
As a joke, yes, as a joke. And well, let me tell you, I never wanted to be a conductor, because when I've seen my mother working so hard, I was like, no, never. I do not want that. No, over my dead body. So when AG saw my hand, he said, okay, finally we have some lady. So I stood up on podium, and I remember that I thought that I have no idea how to start. I was like thinking, your mother is a conductor and you do not know how to start. How shame of you. And so I closed my eyes, and I just focused on music, and I just started to conduct. It was Beethoven's 7th Symphony. Seventh Symphony, yes. And after this, at the moment when the orchestra started to play, I thought it's like lightning from heaven. Like, my God, this is it. This is what I wanted to do in my life.
You found yourself.
Exactly. And AG have after this rehearsal, AG came to me and he gave me his baton, and he said, "You have to be conductor." and he said, if you are born to be a conductor, you have to be a conductor. And there's no, I don't agree for no as an answer.
Mm-hmm. And how did you how did your mom like it that you decided to follow her steps?
Well, she was delighted.
Oh, she was delighted.
Actually, yes, she was delighted. She thought it's a great idea. So that's how it started. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Anna, tell me, do you prefer, as a conductor, playing concertos, for example, with some solist, or like a solo music? Because some conductors like to do accompaniments very much. And I remember when I studied in Krakow, Professor Katlewicz always said that it was the most joyful for him was conductor Katlewicz. That the most joyful was time when he was just accompaniment with orchestra doing for the great soloist. How about you? Mm-hmm. What do you prefer?
I love to play with solists. Actually, I enjoy it. I really enjoy it because, for me, it's a kind of chamber music. It's a different relation between, musicians. I know that the soloist is counting on me, and we are together building the whole piece, the whole work. We are building, phrasing, music together with orchestra. So I'm someone between soloist and orchestra, mm-hmm. The one to find the same language and our understanding between orchestra and soloist. So I think I really love it. I really enjoy to work with soloists. For 9 years, I was giving master classes for pianists who came to have master classes of working with orchestra. Mm-hmm. So I have conducted all piano concertos there. And it was an amazing time, actually. There I really discovered fun of playing with solists.
We are always referring to Chopin. About your experiences working on Chopin with the great pianists, and also if you can tell about the versions that you are using for, because as we know this is for orchestra, but you have a string orchestra. Okay, if you can say a few things about that.
There are many versions of Chopin concertos, but we are using orchestration of my mother.
That's also interesting.
Yes, well, she's a master of making arrangements, and all arrangements that she have done sounds really good. Especially that she is making them for Amadeus, whom she really knows, and she knows which group will sound the best for different instruments. So we are using Chopin's arrangement of my mother.
Mm-hmm. We have played two concertos, right? Two concertos.
Both concertos. Yes, my favorite is F minor, and I remember playing this with Ingolf Wunder.
Oh, great!
Right after the Chopin competition. And I remember that was a concert where I think I was on a different planet this day together with Ingolf and orchestra. I think that the chemistry between all of us was incredible. My hair on my hand, are growing when I'm thinking about this. I have never had such a great concert like this day. Mm-hmm. He was building amazing colors and phrasing in the Chopin concerto, which we played hundreds of times. And this was really something very exceptional.
And for the last year also, you mentioned about some recordings, right? So maybe you can share, what did you record last, and maybe because we would like to also listen something, but how about last year, which recordings did you do with orchestra?
Last year we were finishing our big Weinberg project. Mm-hmm. We have recorded all chamber symphonies as first in the world. So
congratulations.
Yes, it took us few years to do it, because Weinberg symphonies are incredibly intensive and challenging for musicians. So we decided we will make it one symphony, then we take a break, then we take after a few months, then we take another symphony, and that's how we have recorded 5 CDs. And it was released 2 months before the pandemic started, actually. After this, we recorded. We made a new CD.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you can share. We can show. Oh, this.
Yes, with Szymon. Yes, it's Szymon Lach's string quartets with arrangements for Buze in house, which was made by my mother also. Mm-hmm. We recorded. Actually, it's quite fresh. A few months ago, CD was released. So it's a great, great Polish music. We also record modern Polish music written by Polish composers, most of Polish composers. Mm-hmm. And almost every year we have possibility to make CDs from these recordings. Recordings are played for Polish radio, so you can hear it also on Polish radio, second program. Mm-hmm. In Szymon Lach, you can find, he's a composer from our times. It's 21st century. Mm-hmm. The most music that we can you can know was written after Second World War. The quartets are in music of Szymon Lach. You can find a lot of Polish folk music, especially in third quartet. It's you can find a lot of those motifs. Mm-hmm. So it's very from sound and character. It's very Polish character.
Do you have Polish rhythms, or something?
Yes, yes. Well, I mean. Polish folk music is full of Polish rhythms,
of course, yeah.
And you can really hear it. You can really hear it in his music. Yes, absolutely.
I suggest, Anna, that at the end of our conversation, probably maybe we choose one of this movement from the third movement, because I'm also thinking Chopin was very much influenced by the folklore. And maybe we can choose one of the movements from the third string quartet. It's on the website, right? You can also find it.
Yes.
You can maybe show us on the website of the Amadeus Orchestra, right? So, okay, I will play it at the end of our conversation, but we can just show us now. Szymon Lach, this is just released for the Dux label. And
yes, it's
the third string quartet. Who was conducting your mom's third quartet or you?
I'm conducting third and fourth, although I have to see, I don't remember. I'm conducting third and fourth, and my mother fifth.
The last one, definitely. Okay, and we have 3 movements of this, 4 movements, right? Allegro quasi. So, okay, so good. We will listen this one movement. Which one do you recommend? Vivace?
I think, Vivace non troppo would be fine, and also the first movement, Allegro quasi presto.
And we can find elements of Polish music there, right? Okay, great.
Every movement.
Every movement, great. Wonderful.
Every movement is different. Okay. It's the same, the folk, Polish folk music you can also find in Weinberg's symphonies. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of this, this rhythms, also in the melancholic phrases. You can find, this Polish mood, Polish and Jewish mood. Mm-hmm. It's very clearly painted there. It's also the same in Szymon Lach. It's really the Polish mood is really well shown there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We have a lot of conversation with many artists about this about the national culture, also national elements. Last year we have a topic also of the national elements in music when we had the competition. So that's also very interesting for the festival. Maybe last thing, Anna. Because you mentioned, I heard that you mentioned that you had a lot of masterclasses with pianists, masterclasses also with the different artists, also as a conductor. So did you have any kind of meetings or maybe masterclasses virtual during this time? And can you tell us about this?
Well, I must tell you, I didn't make conducting masterclasses online. I cannot imagine how it could work. Actually, I think
some did. My friends.
Some did. I think it's not possible. Let me speak a diplomatic language. It's not possible. We need orchestra. The conductor is learning only on orchestra. You cannot play violin, just online without the instrument. It's the same with the conductor. We have to have orchestra because the orchestra responds to this what we are doing. They're like mirror. Whatever we do, they will do it. If we do wrong, they will play wrong. So I think it's not possible to make master classes online.
That's no way.
I have done, that's also weird, I must say, competitions. I was in a jury of competitions, conducting competition and instrumental also competitions. It's much harder than when you see musician playing live. When you see a musician on stage, first of all you can see him you have a compact view of him, of his musicality, his technique, the way he think. You can see it live, only live, and these are only recordings. Well, they are made on concerts. Well, conductors were sending videos from concerts.
From their concerts.
From their concerts, yes. So actually, it should be not a problem to see their talent and technical possibilities. But some of the videos are, with good orchestras and well made, and some are with not a very good orchestras and with some technical problems. So I have spent many days to try to through the video to see their talents and technical possibilities. So it is different. I think it's quite harder to than seeing musician live on stage. It's absolutely different. It's like with concerts online. You cannot say that we can now play only online concerts because live music has something magical, something that is exceptional, and video is always it's not live, it's not real, it's something. It doesn't have the magic, and it's the same. It's the same. With the competitions, that it's good that we have them because that's life. We have to find ourselves in a situation in which we are right now, and with the technology that we have these days, it is possible to survive, and play concerts different way, but still we can do it. We can also, travel to give concerts, but it won't be, huge concert tours like, orchestra, symphonic orchestra tours like it used to be. But we will have concerts. We will travel with concerts, and many artists are still doing it. It's less of us are doing it. There are too many musicians in this world, so just some parts of musicians can still play concerts. There are just a few of us, but still we can do it, and we just need to find the way and possibilities on times that we have right now.
Yeah, so many of people who are interested with this wonderful orchestra, I recommend go to also to Spotify on the others, also to Naxos to find the other recordings, because there are so many great recordings of the music by the Amadeus Orchestra, did by your mom and also by you. But for now, I also recommend that I suggest the recent release in this isolation situation, with the orchestra performing the string quartet in the arrangement of your mom, Agnieszka Duczmal, the third string quartet, one movement. Thank you very much Anna, for being with us, sharing all of that. And I wish all the
Thank
best
you very much
for the orchestra for the next season. Many creative projects, many travels, musical travels, and also not only musicals. And all the best for you, for your career, and for your mom and the entire orchestra. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me, and all the best I wish to everyone, and please stay positive.
We will. You the same to all the orchestra. Time for lunch.
Thank you.
And bye. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.